Welcome back to the Crochet Credits with my friends over at Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today I'm going to work on the mason jars. This is going to be the large size version. The small and the medium are very similar to each other for diameter, but the large completely changes as the thickness is different as well as the height. So without further ado, let's listen to this real quick and then I'll be right back. This video has sound alerts added. When you hear this sound, it will be your signal that the segment is finishing up. Press stop and crochet the instructions and then press play again to continue along in your project. So we're now looking at this pattern and we can see that we only need one ball of lily sugar and cream. You can use these as storage or LED candles. These are actually really kind of a cool idea and I think it's quite practical. I just used some old relish container that I did have from this. So you can actually either go out and buy something or just look to your fridge and finish up something and then you have something good to go. You should notice that this container at the top, this one here, the large one, the container must be slid in prior to you actually finishing the top because you will not be able to get it in afterwards. So just be paying attention to that before we go any further. So we're gonna start on the very base here and then we're gonna work our way up, and you're gonna need a 3.75 millimeter or a size F crochet hook in order to play today. So let's begin. So to begin we're going to create a slip knot and we're gonna insert our hook. This is an easy size or easy type level pattern, so it's not hard to do. So you're just going to put on a slip knot and then you're gonna chain two. So 1 and 2, and let's immediately just jump into round number 1. So we're gonna come second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2, or it's the very first chain, whatever one you want to look for, it's the same one, and you're going to single crochet into that one a total of 6 times. So 1 and 2 and just keep on going. Wrap that straggler into it at the same time. This is 3, 4, 5 and 6, and you're gonna notice it's gonna feel tight right off the bat. So you have to go into the very first one. How do you know which one it is? You can either count back, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, or if you can identify the first one automatically, then you don't have to worry about counting back as well. So I always recommend counting back just to verify, and you're just gonna join it with a slip stitch in order to conclude that circle. So now everything is good and I'm gonna get rid of my straggler right out now so that it's out of my way, out of my hair kind of idea. And now we're good to go for round number 2. So moving forward in today's tutorial I'm going to tell you how to start a round and then I'm gonna leave you to do the round and then we're going to join us back here. So let's begin round number 2. You're gonna chain up 1 and in the same one that you did the join you're gonna put in 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. So each stitch all the way around is gonna have 2 single crochets. So I want you to do that and meet me back here in just a moment. So as you come all the way back around, a lot of people assume that this last section right here is part of a stitch, but it's not. It's like a new stitch. It's part of the original. So you should have 6 groups of 2 going in all the way around, and if you don't see that, just look at your project real quick and then just take a look. So then once you're satisfied with that, just join it with a slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. Let's move along to round number 3. So round number 3 we're gonna chain up 1 first, and then the first stitch where you've done the join is gonna be 1 single crochet by itself, and then the next one is going to be 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So 1 and 2. So here's the repeat pattern for the remaining of the round. First stitch is 1 single crochet and then the next one has 2 single crochets. Please do that same pattern going all the way around for round number 3. So coming all the way back around, just join it to the top of the first single crochet that you had started with. Let's move along to round number 4. Easy peasy, just chain up 1 and 1 single crochet into the first one and 1 into the next one. So 2 in a row, and then the next one has 2 single crochets in there. So 1 and 2. So the repeat pattern is 2 single crochets are in a row, so 1 and 2, and then the next one is 2 single crochets into the same one. Please do that all the way around for round number 4. So let's just join it to the top of the first single crochet that we had started with, and let's begin round number 5. So chain up 1 and 1 single crochet into that one, okay, into the one that you did the join, 1 into the next and 1 into the next. So there's 3 in a row that are single crochets, and then the next one has 2 single crochets in it. So 1 and 2. So the repeat pattern for the entire round is 1 single crochet and 2 and 3. So there's 3 in a row, and then the next one has 2 single crochets into the same one. Please do that all the way around for round number 5. So I'm coming up all the way around and just join to the top of the first single crochet to the beginning. So let's move along to round number 6, and 6 we're still growing the base out nicely, and we're just chaining up 1 and we're doing 1 single crochet into the first 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then 2 into the next. 1 and 2. So keep on doing it again. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then 2 into the next. Please do that same pattern going all the way around for round number 6. So I'm just joining it to the top of the first chain or single crochet, and then we're gonna go on to round number 7. Round number 7 again are easy, just chain up 1 and there's gonna be 1 single crochet in the first 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then 2 into the next. So 1 and 2. So the repeat pattern for this, if you haven't clued in yet, is 5 in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the next one has 2. Please do that all the way around for round number 7. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 7, just joining it to the first single crochet. So we're now done pretty much growing out this circle. So it's gonna get a little bit bigger as we do a few more rounds, but if you think it's too small, just bear with it. It still will grow. So don't stop at this point thinking that you're screwing up. So just chain up 1. So let's begin. I've already just chained up 1 as I stated, and what we want to do, if you're new to crochet, there's always 2 strands that make up 1 stitch. The first strand is called the front loop. This last one that's furthest away from you is the back loop. So what we want to do to create the bend in the material at the base of the jar, you need to go in the back loop only. So I've already chained 1 and just coming in, and I want to go into back loop only, and I want a single crochet. So I'm gonna single crochet in each of the back loops going all the way around. Once you get the first back loop, the others are pretty much easy to see. And you're gonna see it's gonna create this definite line here, which is gonna create the bend in the material to allow you to take the shape of the jar. So let's continue to do that. 1 single crochet in each back loop all the way around. So I'm just finishing up the last stitch, and I just join as normal to the top of the first single crochet. So now you can see there's a definite line going all the way around. So we're gonna move on to the body next. The body consists of 4 rounds that repeat each other a total of 3 times. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you started. I'm gonna show you the body repeat once, and then I'm gonna show you how to start it once again, because it's slightly different from the way that you start from where we are now. And then I'm gonna leave that rest of you for that, and then we'll join you at the top of that when we're done. So let's move along. We're gonna do a round the bodies starting at the round number 1. So we're just gonna chain up 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that counted as a double crochet and chain 1. You're gonna skip 1 stitch and single crochet, or sorry, double crochet in the next one over, just like this, and then chain 1. Skip 1, double crochet into the next, and then chain 1. So what I want you to do is do that all the way around, and you're gonna see that it's gonna leave this lovely gapping of ladders look all the way around. So please do that, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So as you come all the way back around, don't forget you're gonna have 1 left over before hitting this one again. So chain up 1, and I want you to count the 3rd chain up. So 1, 2 and 3, and that's the one you're going to slip stitch in to finish off round number 1. So you have this consistency of going all the way around. Let's move along to round number 2. Really easy. Chain up 1, and it's gonna be 1 single crochet in each stitch, which is the double crochet, and then another single crochet in the next chain 1 space. So every stitch, whether it's a double crochet or a chain 1, gets a single crochet all the way around. So please do that all the way around for round number 2 of the body. So as we come all the way around, don't forget that last chain 1 space that's there before you hit the first single crochet that you started with. So that was round number 2. We're gonna move on to round number 3. Round number 3, we're going to be creating a mesh like area, and it's actually really quite simple, like I would always say it anyway, but it really quite is. So let's begin round number 3, which is starting with the chain 5. So 1, 2, 2 and 3, which counts as a double crochet, 4 and 5, which is a chain 2 space, and that'll make sense in just a little bit. So you want to skip 2, 1 and 2, and single crochet into the 3rd one over. Then you want to chain 2, skip 2, and you want to put a V-stitch into the 3rd one. So it's consisting of a a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into the same one. So the repeat pattern going all the way around is that you got a single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, V-stitch into the next, and then we're gonna carry on. So we're gonna chain 2, skip 2, and single crochet into the next. Do you see that? So you have these V-stitches in between these single crochets. So the repeat pattern is chain 2 and then skip 2 and V-stitch into the next, which is a single is a double crochet by itself, and chain 2 and double crochet, and then chain 2 again, and then skip 2 and single crochet in the next. Please do this all the way around for round number 3. So as we come up on the end of round number 3, here's the thing you gotta watch for. We've just chained 2 and the V-stitch is next. So you have a V-stitch here, this is your single. So this is your V-stitch that you're looking at. So you're going to double crochet into the same one you did the join with, and you're going to chain 2, and you're going to just slip stitch it to the third one up. So 1, 2, and 3. So slip stitch it there, and then therefore it completes that final V that you need. So let's move on to round number 4. So begin round number 4 is always the same. It's gonna be chaining of 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and I want you to reach over to where the next V-stitch appears. So see how it looks like a V, and you're gonna do a cluster. So how to do that is that you're gonna wrap the hook and going right into the V, and you're gonna yarn over, pull through, then you're gonna yarn over, pull through 2, and hold it. Don't finish it. So to do it again, so yarning over, same stitch or same space, pull through 2, and hold. Do it again one more time, and you want to get a total of 4 loops on your hook. So you're gonna yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and then just chain 1 to finalize. You want to do this a total of 3 times in each of the V-stitches. So let's do it again. So wrap the hook, same V-stitch, pull through 2, and hold, and you keep doing that until you get 4 loops on your hook. Okay, pull through all 4, chain 1, and do it one more last time. So there's gonna be 3 groups of these clusters in each of the V-stitches going all the way around. So pull through all of them, chain 1 to finalize, and then what you have to just do is just jump to the next V-stitch that's available to you. So this was a single, go right to the V and do it all over again. So here's the repeat pattern. So you're gonna cluster, chain 1, cluster again, chain 1, and cluster again. Okay, and then chain 1 to finalize, and then just jump to the next V. So please do that all the way around for round number 4. So as we finish up, the last one here as we come all the way around is the one you have to watch out for when you're finishing round number 4, and you'll have to do this again 2 more times later on. So just chain 1 and then just join it to the top of this. Remember this chain 3 that you started with? Just join it to finish it to make sure it looks like it's in balance, just like you see. So now you've just done rows number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and with this size you need to repeat that again 2 more times. But here's what I want to show you before you start again is that remember that we were single crochets going all the way around here. You still have it here, it's just not as visible. So let's begin, and I'm gonna show you round number 1 all over again, but this is gonna be using where you're seeing now. So you're gonna repeat rows number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then again 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me just show you how to get started again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that was a double crochet, chain 1. So there is clusters that you see. Go into the space that is existing between the clusters and double crochet in, and then chain 1 and go into the next space in between the next cluster. It saves you having to look for stitches, and then chain 1, and then you're going into the space between the 2 groups of clusters, and then chain 1, and then just separate them. So you got 3 here, so just separate them out and put 1 double crochet, chain 1, and separate to the next one, chain 1, and then go in between. So please do that all the way around for round number 1 all over again, and I'm gonna leave the rest for you to do this. So do this round plus the remaining of the 3, and then do it all over again to get to the top, and I'll see you at the end of this round just to make sure you're clarifying where to go, and then we'll meet you at the very top of this, and I'll do that off camera. So I'm coming all the way back around. Don't forget that this first chain 4 is the one that's right in between these two groups of clusters. So don't forget that. So I've got my chain 1 in there and I want to count the third one. So 1, 2 and 3. And then that concludes. So then you're gonna move on to round number 2, 3 and 4 and then do 1, 2, 3 and 4 all over again. So please do that, and I'm gonna see you at the top of this and I'll do the rest off camera and then I'll show you how to finish off at the top. So now we're about ready to move on to round number 13. So you would have done the body 3 times. So 1, 2 and 3. So we're now on round number 4 as we just finished round number 4 of the body. So let's move on to round number 13 first, and it says the same as the first round. Sounds like a song. So we're gonna chain up 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and again just separate those clusters out and put a double crochet in, chain 1, you already know it by now, and then another cluster, or put it between the next cluster, chain 1 and so on. Please do this around all the do this all the way around for round number 13. So I'm coming all the way back around and I'm just following it as I normally would. Remember that this chain 4 is part of this first one that we started with, and you're just going to go to the third chain up. So that's it. So what you need to do before you go on, you need to get your jar ready and clean it up and get it nice and prepared, because now we have to slip it in before we continue on with rounds number 14 and 15 and 16. So I'll see you back here. I gotta run upstairs and get myself a jar. Okay, so now I got my jar, and just to let you know, I think my jar is a little short. It's not the right size as per the pattern, but that doesn't matter. I can actually make it just not like it's so stretched that it's crazy, right? It still looks great. So now what we're gonna do is that we're going to start reducing the top of these stitches easily to create it so that it's part of the jar. So let's begin round number 14. So we're gonna chain up 1, and I know the angle is kind of rough, but just bear with me. We're gonna go just like you did before, the single crochets like you had. So we're just gonna single crochet in the first double, and then we're going to single in the next chain 1 space, and then single crochet in the next double. So what we want to do is that is considered 3. So we want to skip the next stitch and then just immediately just jump over to the next one and single crochet the next 3. So this happens to be a double crochet in the space and double crochet. So then that's 3 in a row. So skip the next and you want to go to the next. So that's what you want to do all the way around for round number 14. So in keeping with the pattern, I'm skipping 1, and then there's gonna be only 2 in the end. So just 1 and 2, and then that's it, and then you just join it to the beginning single crochet that you started with. So that's easy. So you can see it kind of compressed down to itself onto the jar. That's why you had to put it in first. Let's do rounds number 15 and 16 together. Very simple, just single crochet and 1 single crochet in each stitch going all the way around. So please do that for round number 15 and 16, just making sure you get it done, and then that's it for today's pattern. So let me do that here off camera and I will be right back and I'll have it done for you, and you can take a look at that point. So I'm just coming up all the way around. Again, my jar is a little short, so that's why you don't see it in the same position that you do in the photograph. So just join it to the top of the first single crochet, and then that's it. So what I'm gonna do is now is just gonna weave in my ends. So I'm just gonna trim my yarn and pull it a loop through so it locks it into position, and then I'm just gonna grab a darning needle, and if you go in and out of your work 3 times you can permanently lock in this, and it'd be really quite awesome. So whether you turn it into a vase or maybe put a LED candle in, that's completely up to you. Just weave in your yarn underneath the top so you don't impede the top look of the stitch work. Just right underneath, glide it back and forth 3 times, and then you can safely get rid of it from that point. So if the jar was taller, that would go right to the top, and again you can just shrink it on down too if you want to, and it would still look just as good. So this is it for now. I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. Thank you for joining me, and until next time we'll be back with more free patterns and ideas real soon. Bye bye now.